Today, we continue our A to Z movie review series with the movie Whiplash. Is this a musical masterpiece or is it a bit of a car crash? Let's find out on the Late Night Movie Podcast. Welcome back to the Late Night Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Welchy, and joining me tonight, as always, is Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hello, guys. Happy to be back. And if people have actually seen the film Whiplash, they'll know how good of a pun that actually was.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also joined, as always, by our resident horror expert, Stephen.
Yes, hello everybody. Lovely to be back as always. That could be the award for best pun
I think
that
so.
you've done so far.
It was easy
yeah,
though. It wasn't a hard one to make. It was very easy to make because
No,
Whiplash
but it
has two
works.
meanings in this film.
Work. Yeah.
It works on so many different levels. That's why it really hits home. So yeah, pat on the back is duly noted for that.
There was actually a moment, obviously just calling you the resident horror expert, there's a moment at the very, very beginning of this film, I was thinking, is this a fucking horror movie? Because at the beginning, Blumhouse comes up.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, right.
oh shit, I don't know. Am I in for a fucking riot here of people
Yeah.
that come to it?
No.
But for a moment, I was like, oh, this could be fucking
But-
amazing.
Blumhouse have a small selection of movies that they have produced that are non-horror movies, but with Blumhouse, there's always a twist. So like, you might think going into this is a musical movie.
Oh yeah, it's not a
Is that
standard
what-
musical movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, and what I mean is a lot of their non-horror ones are kind of ones that you think going in it's going to be one thing, and then it just completely dumbfounds you. And I feel like Jason Blum does that, but obviously, you think of Blumhouse, you think of the
Horrors.
expanded horror
Yeah.
universe that they've got together. This was, I think, Blumhouse was founded in maybe like 2015, so this was very, very early into
What year
the
was this film?
production. Was it 2015 actually?
And none of us picked it in the film we just watched. We did, so that says a lot.
Maybe you don't want to give any
Maybe that
spoilers.
says a lot.
Yeah, I
Um,
double checked that for me, but I feel like this was one of the first movies that hit when Blumhouse started
Got
to
it
be
open.
developed.
It's actually not. It's 2014.
I was going to say, I think I
2014.
saw it earlier when I was watching 2014. Yeah.
I actually think maybe I did pick it as an honorable mention in the last,
You
one we
may
did.
have, yeah.
probably.
Okay, well, let's get straight into it. For those that are new to the podcast, we have been doing a movie review series, picking a movie for every letter between A to Z. Obviously, we're on W, so we can see the finish line. It's so close. As I said before, we do have a plan for what we're doing after that already, but we'll reveal that when we get to letter Z. For now, let's go into our review of Whiplash. Obviously, there will be spoilers in this. It's coming up to 12 years now. There'll be minor spoilers, I guess. I think if you're on this review right now, you've probably seen it. I can't imagine
Yeah.
Yeah.
people are here having not seen it. We won't give the ending away or any major things, but just beware. There might be light spoilers. Budget. Andy, what do you reckon the budget was for this film?
Two big actors, 2015. Not, I don't know, like 10 million, maybe less than that.
Okay, Stephen?
I think it got maybe a little bit more, 20 million. Obviously, it has a big actor in J.K. Simmons, but I think at this point, Miles Teller, I don't think is as big then as he is now. I think I might be completely wrong here, but I'm pretty sure this was the role that kind of put him on the map. So,
Then you almost fucked
Before
up the year
that.
after with Fantastic Four.
oh
Yeah.
shit, I thought he was in that. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to the 20 million pound mark.
Honestly, I can't look at the guy and not see it. That's how much
Yeah,
damage that
okay.
film has done to his career. Because that stupid line at the end of that film, man.
At least he's got Top Gun Maverick.
He's
As a-
don't get me wrong, he's a good
Yeah.
actor. I'm just saying he
He's-
almost fucked his whole career up
He's
with one
redeemed.
choice.
Yeah, he's redeemed
And Michael B.
himself over
Jordan in
the
that
last
film.
decade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a fucking car crash. So funny enough,
Literally.
another car crash. The budget was 3.3 million.
Wow.
Okay.
A very relatively small budget, obviously. Not quite indie level, but small.
That makes sense.
Box office.
I just pretty all went to J.K. Simmons. Yes.
What do you reckon the box office was?
A
I
lot.
reckon this. Yeah, I reckon it's got at
Like-
least 100 million. I think.
Maybe not that high. Like 70 million.
50.
Oh,
Okay.
So
But that which is
still,
obviously still impressive with the
Yeah.
budget.
yeah,
Yeah.
more than 10 times its own budget.
I also have a fun fact. I think Andy, you'll really appreciate this. So the director of Whiplash is Damien Chazelle. He went on to direct La La Land, which was massively successful. He also directed a little movie called Babylon. It's the director
Oh
of
Oh,
god,
Babylon
one of the
directed
worst movies
Whiplash.
I've seen in the cinema ever.
So obviously, there's that famous story that Babylon I enjoyed, but Ali, our friend James that went to see it, absolutely despised it. And I kind of played it. Oh, it's the guy that directed like Whiplash and La La Land, and it's got Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt. It's going to be like Wolf of Wall Street, guys. And yeah, I got a lot of hate for a while on that
What do you mean for a
recommendation.
while? You still get hate.
Yeah, I still get hate now. We had a 3-year anniversary. It popped up of like we went to see Babylon, and I then put it in our group chat. I was like, "Hey guys, it's the 3-year anniversary of one of the best movies you've ever seen on the big screen."
so Rotten Tomatoes for this film, 94 each,
Yeah,
critics
yeah,
and audience.
Yeah,
Very, very high. And a letterbox score of 4.4.
yeah.
impressive. Very
Very,
impressive.
very high. So, who picked this film? Oh, I picked this film.
You did. You
I
did.
guess I should
This is
start
your pick,
then.
Welchy.
Yeah, normally the person who picks it starts. Okay, well in that case, I will start with my review. I didn't know what to expect going into this, other than I've heard amazing things. I didn't look at these scores actually until afterwards, but I'd heard amazing things, so I assumed they'd have scored high. I knew what's his name, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jack Simmons.
I knew he
yeah.
was in it. I knew Miles Teller was in it. I didn't know much else, other than there was a drum involved.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to experience it. I think.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
less you know, the better.
I would say that Whiplash is a fantastic movie. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I know you're going to say I'm
Very
harsh
high.
and I don't give any 10s, but I think this needs a bit more to get a 10. But phenomenal movie. So many cool moments, so many things I'll remember forever. The final scene in this movie is just insanity. I need to
Yeah.
know, can he play the drums like this in real life, or was this like animated in some
Too
way?
far.
I
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I feel like it was probably done in a clever way. They did some sort of clever bits of camera. But if he did,
If he
then
did,
that's nuts.
that's insane. But if he
Yeah.
didn't, then if it's insane how they made it look like he did.
Yeah,
I just think it's a really good story on the chase and the dream of perfection, and the what's the word? The lengths you will go
Sacrifice.
the sacrifice, the lengths you'll go to reach
Yeah.
perfection or reach your goal and become great at something. In both ways, obviously the teacher as well, how much he's willing to push these students in the ways he does it.
yeah.
And the twists and turns this film takes, and like the emotions that Miles, or I can't remember his names in the film now, but
Andrew.
of course you
Yeah.
remember it.
Always the fucking Andrews, isn't
yeah.
it?
The emotions he goes through, and I thought he played it amazingly, like acted
Yeah.
amazingly by Miles. I felt everything that he felt. The scene where the three drummers were all competing against each other was immense.
Yeah.
Like the sweat and everything. And J.K. Simmons, though, I'm talking about Miles, but J.K. Simmons, fuck me.
I think this is the best role I've ever seen him in.
He is absolutely incredible in this movie.
He won Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars this year for that.
I'm not
his role
surprised.
during Whiplash.
I mean, I wouldn't call him supporting. I'd call Miles supporting, because he carries
He-
his
he-
film crazily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor. I feel in the category though, Miles Teller is in the lead
Because
role.
he's a lead role, yeah.
But one of those, yeah, his performance got multiple Academy Awards and
Completely understandable.
BAFTAs.
He-
It's nuts.
He makes the film. Like, that role is so
Yeah.
important to this movie, and I just think
Yeah,
Yes.
he nails it.
Yeah.
There's not much more I can say other than I just think it's fantastic. Why I didn't give it a 10? I think there's a few lows in the movie. I think there's a few I would like a bit more at some points.
yeah,
And I think I didn't really. I always say this in movies recently, and I feel like it's a cop out, but I wasn't emotionally involved. I was just amazed by the film, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know I say it a lot, and maybe I've got to change that mindset. but I do think I need some emotional involvement to really get to the highest highs of scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When I look at any of my 10 out of 10s, I don't know if I'm emotionally involved in Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know. Maybe maybe I need to rethink that kind of whole argument. But there's just something stopping me getting to that 10. But it's not the acting, because the acting in this is some of the best acting you'll see in any movie. Andy, what did you think of Whiplash?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much along the same lines as you, Welchy. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm going to give it an 8.5 on our table. So again, a very respectable score. Yeah, J.K. Simmons in this film is absolutely incredible. The way that he goes from, like, at first I hate him because I always, those films where you always got that teacher and he's like teaching in the way where he's like almost being a dickhead towards the pupil, the student. It's like I don't like always watching that sort of thing. But the way that their characters develop together, so J.K. Simmons as Fletcher and then Miles Teller as Andrew, the way that their characters develop throughout the film and their character growth and the way that he pushes him to his limits because he wants him to be great. Like he only teaches greatness basically. And like he like again, small spoiler, there's obviously a car crash in this film, and then he goes on to he gets out the fucking car and goes and plays the drums because of J.K. Simmons' character. He's like pushing him to his absolute limits and, like we said, sacrifice. And the fact that he drops him after that, obviously I know he messes up, but it's like all of that, it's just incredible performances from those two characters. And the way it starts and like the twists as well at the end, like with everything that happens, and it's like you finally think he's getting his like big shot, and then something else happens. You're like, oh, you fucking prick! You're still a prick. At one point, I thought Miles was gonna, or Andrew was gonna tell Fletcher that he'd done that thing. In terms of getting kicked out and stuff. I thought they was going to have like a massive heart to heart and he was going to give him his chance. And then you almost think you're getting that without that happening. And then obviously there's the twist. And then obviously we then have like the other twist at the end. And it's like one amazing performance from Miles Teller on the drums.
I loved the whole monologue with them in the bar. And I think it's good because the film is quite intense all the way through. And it's almost like it mellows down for that bit to then go up to that final sequence. But that bit in the bar I loved, and I know what he does in the film and the ways Miles goes, and it seems like a lot and it is bad. But I also see his point. I see Fletcher's point. He says the greats have to do this. Like if you want to be the best. And he said, like he says about the other drummer, he said, why don't you pick him? He says, I only picked him to push you. Like he knows how to push people, and he says, I will never apologize for pushing you because I'm trying to get you to the literal peak. And I agree with it. I don't think his methods are right, but it technically is as well. It's one of those films where I feel conflicted because I'm seeing how bad it can be, but I also partly agree with it.
Yeah. Well, we have the whole like scene where he's talking about one of his ex-students that he says dies in a car crash. And then you find out he actually hanged himself potentially because of the effects that his teaching had on him and
it's
stuff. And then obviously that
after that he has a car crash. It's like,
yeah, exactly. And that's why I thought there's going to have a moment there. Like I thought he's going to go into that performance, see him play, find out that he's gone in there after being in a car crash and literally still came to the show and tried to put on a performance, but you don't. And it's like he obviously fucks up because he's injured from the car crash. And then he just drops him. And then obviously, it leads on to other great scenes in the movie. But yeah, this from the get-go, like the performances from these two characters just sold it for me. It's a great film about sort of the limits of what you need to do to push yourself to be the greatest person in whether that's sport, music, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. And the whole scene with the girlfriend as well, where he's basically saying, I can't have a relationship because I'm not going to be around. Like I want to be the greatest drummer ever, and I'm not going to be able to have all the things that normal people will have
Yeah.
if I want to be great. And he knows he wants to be great, so he's pushing
I
himself to those
fucking
limits. And
I love it. I think again, I feel conflicted. I think he's
yeah,
being a dick, but at the same time, I fucking fully agree with him. Like
he yeah
he's so
he knows what he
motivated.
wants,
Yeah.
and yeah, and
It's the
he's doing
whole
all that he
resentment thing he
can.
says is like we will resent each other because if I become
Yeah, yeah,
successful, you're going to resent me for being away all the time. If I don't become successful, I'm going to resent you because I'm going to think you made me unsuccessful. It's
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The the only thing I didn't like about this film is, well, like not all of it, but like parts with the dad. I thought like, so at the bit at the end where
do you know who he is? Do you
he
remember, see
goes,
remember where he's from?
no.
Stranger Things. You haven't rewatched it recently. He's one of the people in the lab in season 4
Oh, yeah, I think I picture his face actually.
and
Yeah.
3. That's him.
He's one of the main lab people, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do recognize his face. But there's like the bit at the end where he goes to like walk off the stage and obviously turns around, but like his dad like comes through the door and stuff. And I thought like his dad was going to be like, what the fuck, like not being harsh, but like, what the fuck you doing? Just like go out there and play. But I never felt like he was like very supportive towards him,
Mhm.
and like the whole scene with like the family around the
Family, yeah,
table
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. I wanted his dad to be a bit more supportive in him chasing his dreams, where I didn't feel like we got that from him. And considering there wasn't any other sort of family members in it as much as the dad. But yeah,
I also like that, but I think it also showed the other side of it that he was doing this dream on his own. Like there was no one other than Fletcher, I
yeah,
guess,
true,
but
yeah,
it was everyone wants the sports. Like his whatever they were, brothers, whatever they were, cousins,
yeah,
were all about sports, sports, sports. And because no one related to his music things, they didn't see it as, even though he was the
yeah,
highest achiever.
yeah, yeah. And obviously he was confident in his like own way as
Mm.
well in terms of he knew what he wanted. He was going to do whatever it took to get there, and he went to the best music school to get to be with the best teacher. And like some of the scenes, like I don't know if he purposely done it, but where he like the book gets stolen, so then he obviously becomes the main
Yeah,
core. Like I
that's
don't
one of
know
the
what happened with that.
things. I I know things are allowed to be left up in the air, but I'd love to know the answer to that. And I think I was kind of waiting for
Yeah.
that. Was it? I kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thought, did Fletch do it? Because he was like, "Don't lose the book."
yeah,
Then if he would
yeah,
have
yeah,
taken it to kind of, I don't know,
yeah. Push him.
choose some sort of
Mm.
motivation, or if one of the other drummers did it or whatever, like someone else did it. I wanted that to be resolved. There's something else I wanted to be
Yeah,
resolved that we didn't know. Can't remember now.
yeah. And then yeah, it was just so good. Like the way that he pushed him to his limits and their whole performances together. It worked so well together, and it just shows you like what someone will go through to try and achieve their dreams. And yeah, the whole ending and the way it just cuts to the credits at the end, it was like that's the perfect way to end this film. Like that was perfect.
Yeah. Okay, 8.5 and a 9. Stephen, what do you? This is obviously your second time watching Whiplash, or at least second.
Third time. Yeah.
What did you think of Whiplash for the third time?
So I saw this in, I think it was 2019 that I saw it for the first time. Funny enough, I actually bought it on YouTube. So I've got it as one of the those videos that you that downloaded. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could just go on my YouTube account and it's there. And I think I watched it again in 2023. I watched that, then La La Land before you saw Babylon, weirdly enough. Don't ask me why I decided to do that because they're not connected. It's no secret to say that I absolutely loved this movie. As soon as you picked it, I knew it was getting a high score. I pretty much echo everything both of you guys have said. I didn't really get anything different this time around. I kind of knew what was coming. I knew all of the twists and turns. But what it did remind me of was just that what I absolutely love about this movie is, as you've alluded to, sort of what do you have to do to become the very best in whatever dream or career that you're pursuing. And you're absolutely right. Fletcher's methods are, frankly, like abuse
Yeah.
is labeled around it in this film at times. Even to the point, like it reminded me. So there's that sequence where he tells Andrew to be there for 6 a.m. Gets there at 6
Yeah,
o'clock, and not a single fucker's
yeah,
inside. Waits
that was
till
funny.
9 o'clock, and I was like, if I was Andrew, I'd be like,
Yeah.
why the hell did he tell
It's
me to
funny.
get here 3 hours early? And then not only that, he wakes up late
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah,
that
it's
he's going to
panicking,
get
wasn't
there.
he? Yeah,
And he considered this
that's
as not
funny.
the person there. And then, because when I watched it the first time, I didn't know too much about it. And then you have that first moment where Fletcher destroys the out of tune player who isn't even out of tune.
Yeah.
Goes for
But
the other one, yeah.
just goes completely and utterly insane. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's the kind of movie and level that we're in. But at the centerpiece, you've got two unbelievable performances. I think what this movie does, and I'll compare it to a little bit like what you get in the Last of Us Part 2 video game, not the TV show, I should add. The whole sort of thing about when you hate and despise a character, but then the more you spend time with them, you become conflicted. And you mentioned it earlier. I do get a little bit conflicted with Fletcher, not to the level that Last of Us does. And it's one of the things that I kind of would mark the movie down, that I kind of wish that it was pushed further. So you're already conflicted with Fletcher, but I feel like we could have done even more at that, where you get to that point where you're like, I can't actually work out if he's a good guy or a bad guy. There's still that 80% of me is like, you're a dick, you're abusing your students, your methods I don't agree with, but your reasoning and rationale behind it, and it all becomes clear in that, as you mentioned, that bar sequence, where my heart goes out to Fletcher in a weird sort of way, and I love how it kind of makes you change that perception. And I thought it the first time, second time for sure, and this time it kind of reconfirmed. And obviously, since that point, I have played Last of Part 2. I hadn't played it before, so that was kind of in my head, comparing it in that way, but kind of wish it had gone a bit further. I think the only other thing that I would say with the film is that there are a couple of moments that the pacing of the movie is not perfect. And I am being a bit harsh because I think the acting, the story, just the general basis, and that final bit in the movie, when I got to the crescendo, I was like, oh my God. And I was on the edge of my seat. I was intense. I was sweaty. I was clammy. But I do think that the pacing at times, there was a couple of moments where people have said, oh, they find some of the bits of the movie boring. And I can understand that because there are a couple of lulls.
Yeah.
But when it gets going, when it's at its absolute pomp, it's absolutely unbelievable. I love when Fletcher is sort of watching the band play, and then people that are watching it will be able to see it, but the listeners won't. When he just goes like, he grabs the air to like stop, and I love that connotation because it's like no, and you're in full control and power. And I just think
crazy about that is and going back to the bit where they're battling the drummers.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're not my tempo. Like, are you dragging or?" And what's mad was
Rush.
I felt like at the end of that bit, I was like, I can hear it. I can hear that dude. Like, I can hear that they're different tempos. Like, how the fuck have they taught me music?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
Am I rushing or am I dragging?
Yeah.
And also, you can kind of give this movie sort of a connotation to an actual piece of music. If you think about it, where like a song will start quite subtly, and then into its chorus, it just goes mental. And that's exactly what Whiplash. It's like a really heavy metal music or piece of music which has different stages and parts. Sometimes it can be quite chilled and mellow. Sometimes it can kind of take you down a different direction. But then other times it just goes fucking insane. And that's literally what happens in this movie. There are certain sequences in this movie that are just like, even to this day, I sit back and go, first time I watched that, my jaw was on the floor. And that's when I said about like Blumhouse, they don't pick sort of the conventional kind of takes. And then at the centerpiece you've got J.K. Simmons, who is just like his performance is just unbelievable. It's one of those sort of roles where I don't see anybody else playing Fletcher in the way like there's
the only one I could think of
ever
who maybe could. I still don't think he'd be able to do it anywhere near as good actually. But I could kind of see Leonardo getting like that, DiCaprio, a little.
I don't know. It's like
not to J.K. Simmons level,
like,
but I could see him like when he's throwing the stuff across the room and like doing the whole hand. He gets into his characters, doesn't he? I still think J.K. Simmons is the one, but.
The only thing there are moments, some of the things that Fletcher says where I'm laughing, not laughing at them, but I'm laughing at just, I can't believe how outrageous, like the, so there's a thing with the out of tune player, and he's like,
this is
what are you looking at? There's no fucking podcast down there. And then he's like, he says to one of the guys, look, that is not your boyfriend's dick, right? You know, and I was like, and I remember first I going, oh, okay, we're kind of just going sort of straight out there. And even before that, when Andrew is waiting, and everyone comes in, and then a guy says, I can't remember the first two words, but he brings out the steam bomb like early on. This before you actually see anything about Fletcher, and I was like, oh, okay,
yes,
is which you wouldn't expect in like this kind of movie, that kind of level of language. to just come out, and there's a real sort of undertone of aggression. And what I think the movie does really well is that there are moments that are quite tough to sort of sit through, but I like that. I mean, there's a sequence where Andrew's drumming so much, and then he puts his hands in ice, and he's got bloody knuckles, and it's like showing the physical
That's
pain.
he punches through it, doesn't he, in that scene?
Yeah, but I love that sequence because it's so painful and so challenging to kind of get through. And sort of when we spoke about in the podcast that we've just recorded about A Star Is Born, I love musicals that don't shy away from the darker side, because music isn't all lightness and pursuing dreams in your career. There are always consequences, and the movie does a great job at showcasing those. So apart from the pacing, and I would want it to have, where I agree with you're saying about there's not an emotional punch, there isn't. I just kind of wish that, I think Fletcher's character could be even more evolved, but what we get from him is still incredibly good. So
I don't know how he could be any more though, because he's like, you're already conflicted by what he does in the film. Like, he's already pushing him to his limits. And like, for example, like there's a scene where you think, oh, he's being the good guy, he's getting to know Andrew a bit, where he's asking about his mum, his dad, and what they do and stuff. And then the next scene, he's using that against him to fucking wind him up. And it's like, you fucking prick. It's like, I thought you was being nice, asking, trying to find out a bit more about him as a person. And then all of a sudden, he's using that to like try and motivate him, I guess. But
you see the other scene where he sees one of his like old mates with his daughter, and he's like being really nice and friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
And even Miles' character smiles, because that to me was like, oh, he's a nice person. This is just this is work.
Like, and you also you've got that scene where he gets the phone call. I'm guessing about the student that's died, and he goes into his office. Obviously, he's having a go at him because he wants to be on the drums. And he's like crying, and I think like Miles' characters realizes that. He's like, okay, like for him to be crying about something, like he just obviously walked out after that. He's like,
I actually love the ending of this film, and for me, spoilers for the ending, not only has Miles reached that level that he wanted to reach, but
he's got the respect,
but Fletcher has also got what he wanted. He never had.
They challenged each other.
I can't remember what he called. There was some musician that they was always wanting to aspire to be. Fletcher wanted to produce one, and Andrew wanted to be that one. And you can see Fletcher, even in that last moment, he has done this twist to fuck him up. But then you go back to the bar scene where he says, people who achieve greatness don't get pushed back by that; they keep going. That's when he walks back.
That's what he wants the entire film. He wants to be, because there's a bit where he's like arguing with him in the musical room, and one of the other players tells him to like stop, like leave it out, but Miles' character keeps going at him, and he keeps having that argument with him. And I think that's what he, like J.K. Simmons' character, wants as well. He wants to be pushed back. He wants to be challenged.
He wants someone to have that fire to be great.
Yeah, he wants to have that fight. Everyone else like is quiet. They're not going to argue back with him. As soon as he starts shouting at someone, they don't talk back to him. Like, whereas with Andrew, his character is wanting to fight against him because he wants greatness, and he knows he's being pushed that way. He's pushing back.
It's partly why I think Fletch does take the book, because I think he's always looking, isn't he? He's always like aware, and I think he knows that he went back to his room that night and learnt Whiplash off by heart. So he took the pages because he knew the other drummer couldn't fucking do it. So Fletch could come in.
It would be cool.
Fletch could come in.
Got clarity.
Andrew could come in and do
it. They
it.
clarified that. Yeah.
I think in response to that, and I think that there is enough in there in terms of that sort of, when I said I wanted a bit more sort of that involvement, but I feel like if we maybe got, I don't know, 10 minutes, a bit more of like further backstory, or a few more scenes of conflicted you even further, maybe it could be me being really unfair that I'm comparing it to like something like The Last of Us that does it so perfectly over a longer period of time. Maybe that's an unfair observation, but I still think that there could have been just a little bit more. Nothing, I'm not talking about major, I'm just talking about, because I think if you'd done that, it would help with the emotional investment, which I agree with you, Welchy, is lacking from the film.
But I do think they're different in terms of The Last of Us wants you to like Abby. Whereas I don't think they want you to.
I actually think I'll go one stage further. I don't actually think it's up in the air. I think that what the movie wants you to do is for you to sit there and be like, yeah, this guy's a dick and he's an abuser and he's horrible. but you can understand
his reasons.
You can't quite work out. For every argument you could say, "Oh, I don't like him," you could say, "But this is why I might not like him, but I understand him and respect sort of the passion that he has for the media that he's in," which is also a great when a movie kind of gives you that conflicting feelings on the character. I mean, the scene when he starts actually slapping Andrew every time of like not quite my tempo, but and I was like, this is relentless. Like this is just not sort of letting up in any shape or form. Did I get my score for this, by the way?
No, I was
Not
about
yet.
to ask you.
So as much as I kind of don't want to give this score, I have to be open, guys, only because I've got my movie currently at the very top, which I feel like is now under severe jeopardy because I would give this a 9 out of 10 as well.
9 out of 10. Interesting.
I think Welchy, you finally got a good one on the list.
Yes.
So obviously we're at letter W. We've ranked them all and rated them all. Number one movie is now Whiplash.
Is
on
it?
our A to Z list, Whiplash is number one.
It takes us, but
averaging 8.83. Andy, the only one not giving it a 9, obviously.
sorry, guys.
It has overtaken Gone Girl, which instead of obviously Whiplash got 9.9, 8.5. Gone Girl got 9.88.
Yeah.
So it's at 8.33, and that's harsh because I might have rated that higher if I hadn't had things spoiled for me on other mediums. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. What's that film from?
Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
We
I didn't say it with enough confidence there.
Need to move on, but before we go for a little break, Andy, you need. Oh, actually, before you pick your movie,
we got
we do have a review. Yes, so Big Z wrote in with his review of Whiplash. Strap in, guys. Strap in.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's gonna go because before I started watching the film, Biggs messaged me the day before saying, "I'm 30 minutes in. I've got a bit of headache, but I feel like this is gonna be my Pearl film for him." So like the way I rated Pearl, not highly, he thought he's going to be the same with this film. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He said he restarted it from the beginning without a headache and stuff. So I don't know which direction he's gone.
And he spoke to me. We were speaking just probably about the Arsenal game earlier, and then he asked me the same question, and I've got a feeling I know where he's going. So yeah, it's going to be interesting based on what we've said now. Because all I said is you'll find out my thoughts on the podcast, but just stick with it. But I got a vibe. I've got a vibe of what Biggs is going to be saying to you.
So, I'll read the whole thing, word for word. Okay, so I've just finished Whiplash, lol. That's a good start. I just want to add, I'm not a musical film guy, but I hated it. I was genuinely bored shitless. The only bit of the film I liked was the last 10 minutes. The rest of the film, I was just bored. So for me, it gets a 4 out of 10. But because I understand that I'm not a musical film person, I don't want to give it a super low score. If it was not for that last 10 minutes, I would generally be giving it a 2 or a 3 out of 10.
Oh my god, no way.
Stephen,
you don't have to
Big, as you can tell, we disagree.
Yeah, we definitely disagree. I don't even feel like you have to be like a music person to
call this
film.
a musical film. I wouldn't.
No, it's more to someone with other stuff we've mentioned. Yeah,
it's more about the journey to greatness.
The topic can be anything. Yeah, it can be these two characters in any role,
particularly
or like any dream.
Even in sports, I'd say more an individual sport. Obviously,
footballers
like still do
tennis.
this. Like footballers still go through these things, but like something like tennis, like you say, tennis would be a good one for this kind of story. But I liked it as music because it's different, and it gave you that spin with the family where they don't understand. They understand that this guy is obviously good, but they can understand football. Like they understand the levels of football and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I suppose from Biggie's perspective, if you don't care about like the actual story and the characters and generally sort of those moments of lull, you're already not enjoying the other moments. I understand why you feel like that, but I don't think it's to do with the fact of not being interested in music, because I think that story about wanting to push yourself to be the best, you could put that to any form of what you're doing in life, whether you're a sculptor, The Brutalist was all about architects. I'm not an architect. I have no desire in that, but I still enjoyed the story that it was trying to push. So I don't necessarily think that is the case, but I have heard a couple of people not understanding the hype and finding the general movie boring. And
it must be very rare with the audience score being 94%.
It is very rare, but There are. I've heard. It's not the first time that I've heard someone say that. I recommended to a friend who was in my college class about Whiplash, and they didn't get on with it. So I do think it's one of
Yeah.
those. If you start to take against it, you can find holes in it. But I just think, as for story and as performance, I
Yeah,
don't
J.K.
understand that
Simmons.
notion. Yeah,
I think it's J.K. Simmons that draws me into this film because like before this, I think the main thing I would have saw him in was Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
and his
films,
character I feel like he's just shouting in that all the time. So to go from that to
Oh.
this, where he's obviously still can be angry, but
Can be.
yeah, the levels
Oh.
to his character is
Yeah.
like on a whole different level.
So I've just
So
gone to
that's where you learn.
Letterboxd and done the reviews upside down, so the lowest ones first.
Yeah,
And there's a 5-star review from a couple of days ago that
pretty
said,
big.
"Wasted my
Big
time,
T.
no plot, not my tempo." I
No
thought,
plot.
not my tempo's
No.
fair
Oh,
enough.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
And then there's one I just completely disagree with. One says, "Nobody says Whiplash, nor does anyone get Whiplash." And they do say
Well,
Whiplash because the song is called Whiplash.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. and
Someone
does
definitely
get-
gets Whiplash in this film.
Yeah,
Well, for a character. The other thing as well, that this is the movie where Omni-Man learned how to be really angry.
Yeah.
Yes. My review
all
on
connected.
Letterboxd I'm pretty happy with is Omni-Man loves his jazz.
yeah. Obviously I
Yeah.
read that before I watched the film, and then when I saw it again after I watched the film, I was like, that's funny.
So that's perfect.
Before we take a break, obviously that's our thoughts. Let us know what your thoughts in the comments. But Andy, you need to pick our film for X.
Yes, so I don't even know how you say this film, and obviously X is
Oh, that's a
difficult
good
letter
start.
to X is a difficult letter anyway to choose films from. There's not a massive amount of them, and obviously they also have to be on streaming services that we have to be able to watch it. So I think this is called Zeno. It's Xeno,
Zen.
and yeah, I didn't look too much into it.
Come
I
out
saw
last
it on
year.
Sky. Yeah, it's a new film. So I thought I didn't hear anything about it last year. I saw it on Sky. I think it said it's about a girl who meets an alien and they
Yeah.
go on this journey. So I was like, okay, that sounds good enough for something that I
Yeah.
haven't seen. But obviously I could have chose X-Men. I've seen all the X-Men films. I love those. I wanted to choose something I haven't seen. I haven't checked the scores for this.
I
So
just
I don't know
said.
if it's rated highly or lowly. Low.
It's not that
I've
bad
got-
on
I've got-
Letterboxd. It's 2.9 on Letterboxd.
No.
It's not horrendous.
Okay.
Although, okay, so I've got the Rotten Tomato scores up for this. Critic score of 87%, which is good.
Whoa.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Audience score of 47%.
Okay.
So,
That's not as
critics
bad
love
as I
it.
thought. That's not as bad as I thought.
No.
Okay. I've just checked. I am able to watch this film, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
able to
cool.
watch as well. It just says like a teenage girl develops an otherworldly bond. Actually, no, I won't even read that. Let's just go into it with. Yeah.
For listeners, this is on Sky Movies, Andy.
Yeah, Sky. Yeah.
So if you've got access to Sky, then obviously watch along.
Or Now TV, whatever.
Yeah.
You use, yeah.
If you don't,
Outlets.
then
Yeah,
you
like
know
Sky
maybe
Store
there's
and
other
stuff.
ways you can watch these films. I can't promote them, but you know there's other ways.
Maybe on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe there's other ways. Okay, well that is our
Interesting.
review of Whiplash. We're going to take a quick break, then come back and talk about what else we've been watching. Welcome back to the Late Night Movie Podcast. We've just reviewed Whiplash on our A to Z movie series, but now we're going to talk about what we've been watching recently. And Andy and Stephen have been to the cinema to watch 2 films. One we'll be reviewing next week on the podcast called Return to Silent Hill. That's because I'm going to be watching it this week. So we'll review it next week. But you also watched Mercy, the Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson, is that her name?
I think, yeah.
The
Think so?
Does she play the judge?
The lady from
Yeah, I think
Mission Impossible films,
It's not-
stuff like that. The June films, obviously.
It's
Yeah,
not
I think it is
the
Rebecca
woman in
Ferguson.
Ted Lasso, is it? Is that?
No,
Okay.
not Ted Lasso.
No, okay, good. Okay.
No.
Oh, is there someone
yeah,
from Ted Lasso
I
in
don't know.
Mercy as well?
No. I thought the woman from Ted Lasso was Rebecca Ferguson, but
No.
I think her
that's-
actual name in Ted Lasso is Rebecca.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in like The Greatest Showman and the Mission Impossible films, yeah. And she plays the judge, Rebecca
Cool.
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Leave it to you two. What did you think of this film? Let's start with Andy.
Yeah, so obviously me and Stephen had this and Return to Silent Hill booked in. We'd seen the sort of critic reviews, or I had seen the critic reviews, both of them. Mercy didn't score particularly highly. It was on 20% when I last looked and when we went to watch it. And luckily, some of the audience scores or reviews started to come out without the score there, and they were a lot more positive. So went into this film with a bit more sort of high expectations on it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was when I first saw the trailer for this last year. I liked the concept of it. It didn't give too much away, but I saw there was enough for me to think, oh, that looks like a film I'm gonna go and enjoy. And then I was a bit worried when the critic scores came out. But this is one of the films where I say, if you look at that and you get put off it by like critic scores, like then don't for this film. Obviously, the audience score I think is over 80 or was at some point. So obviously, definitely use that as your sort of reference point for this film. But yeah, it's a really fun thriller. I don't think it's anything sort of like super original. It's not going to win like your movie of 2026, but it was a cool idea, cool concept. With you have this mercy system, they call it, where you have sort of 90 minutes to prove your innocence if you've been accused of a crime. So basically, you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent, and you have access to like everything that AI has access to. So you have access to like the cameras, the evidence logged by the police, anything that you would need. So obviously Chris Pratt has been accused of murdering his wife in this film, and that is, it does tell you that. And he has 90 minutes to basically prove that he is innocent. And the way that they do that is obviously against this AI judge. For me, I felt, have you guys played the Tell Me Lies game, or like a game similar to that?
No.
I think so.
No, yeah. So Tell Me Lies is like, you have I can't remember what you're having to find out, but you have like access to a computer and emails, and you have to find out who's done what. So I felt like when I was watching this film that you're like in the chair with Chris Pratt, seeing the evidence and stuff that he's going through and trying to figure out, is he guilty? Is he innocent? Is someone else involved? What is the actual like plot line here? And I think they've done that really well. It kept us engaged with the film. It didn't. I think this was like an hour and 40 minutes now, 50 minutes. It didn't feel long at all. It flew by for us. And there was also a twist at the end. And the one thing that both me and Stephen said, they do try to overcomplicate it with another twist. So I feel like that wasn't needed. Stick to the one twist that you had, which was pretty cool anyway. I didn't see it coming. I don't know if Stephen did, but the other twist they tried to add, I did see coming at a certain point. It doesn't really add any more to the story. I thought Chris Pratt performance in this, I haven't really seen him in anything recently, I don't think. I'm trying to think. It might Guardians of the Galaxy might be the last film that
I think the last one I saw him was at Jurassic World.
He's not in the new one though, is he?
No, Dominion.
No, he was in Dominion. I feel like that's the last one I saw him in. 2022.
Yeah, and Guardians 3 was 23, so you probably saw Guardians 3 more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was obviously the last thing I saw him in, and I think he's great in that. But yeah, his performance in this was good as well. It had us had me guessing whether he was innocent or guilty or not. Obviously, I won't spoil that bit. Go watch the film to find that out. But yeah, overall, it's just a fun thriller, and I would definitely recommend watching this in the cinema.
Score out of 10?
Shit, I didn't write my score down. I'm trying to think, what did I give on Letterboxd? I think I gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd. So I'd give it a 7, which I think is a fair score for this film. Because it wasn't anything like super crazy, but it done enough to keep me guessing and wanting to watch it. Yeah.
I think it's also worth noting that the idea of an AI-powered courtroom is a really, really terrible idea. Let's not do that in real life. Well, just let's not.
It's scary because like the way that AI is going, like these films now doing AI stuff, it's not far from what we could be seeing in the future.
We spoke about it. Also, it's very Black Mirror-y. Like it's a concept that you would anticipate in like a Black Mirror episode. And what terrifies me about that series is that a lot of the ideas that they've thrown over the years have either almost come true or have come true. So it's not that far-fetched. In terms of my sort of thought process, I'm pretty much aligned with everything that Andy said. Despite the low reviews, I really like the premise of the movie. I love courtroom dramas, and the fact that the movie centers on a court case that is being controlled through AI is a really interesting idea. And I said, Chris Pratt does well with the lead role. and it's a pretty standard sci-fi movie. Like it's good action, it's a solid story. The bit for me that I just didn't like is, and you've already alluded to it, is that I don't get why these films have to overcomplicate. I didn't see either of the twists, so that one that you saw, we spoke about after. I didn't see it either, but that one, the second one, just wasn't needed. You take that away, and it doesn't make any major difference to the outcome of the movie. And I just don't understand why writers feel that they've got to, like, if you've got one twist and it works and you've got a solid idea, like, keep it simplified. I feel like this is the kind of movie that you go in, expect it. There's nothing that is there going to blow you away or surprise you, but that's fine. Like movies like that, we don't have to have every single movie trying to be like really clever and do twist and after twist after twist. So all in all, I really liked it. I think the only other thing that I kind of wanted, I think we both spoke about it, Andy, as well, was that I wish it tried to do something a bit more unique with the idea of the AI judge. And there's also something that happens with the AI judge that I didn't particularly like. I won't reveal it because it is a plot spoiler, but there's something that I didn't like that concept of it. I feel like they could have done it in a different way. I don't know if you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah. I did and I didn't. So I like the fact that, like with AI, there's that like scary thing that AI is always like developing itself and sort of further advancing without sort of human
Yeah.
interaction. And I think that shows this in this film with AI programming itself further on its own
Yeah.
to a certain extent. But then I also thought that they could have used the rules, like the terms and conditions around this AI judge, a bit better in terms of like Chris Pratt could have used it a bit. It could have been used in a more clever way by him sitting in the chair as well, which they didn't go down that route. But if you watch it, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of just going a little bit more, rather than like take out the overcomplicating parts of the third act. You could maybe do a twist or just to try and enhance that level, because I feel like if they had done that, it would have pushed the score that I'm about to give higher. Even though, on the other hand, I'm kind of contradicting myself that I like a straightforward movie that kind of goes in, goes out. There's nothing too deep about it. But when you've got the idea of AI, like your possibilities are endless. And I feel like, again, comparing it to something like Black Mirror, what Black Mirror does amazingly well is it has those simplified ideas, but then it will complicate it, but in a really interesting way that's also really intense and scary. There was none of that in this film, but again, it was a straightforward sort of a film that if you saw on a Friday night, or if it was on the TV and it came on, you'd sit there, you'd enjoy it, you wouldn't think too much about it after. And as I said, it's solid. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not bad.
It did have some funny moments in there as well. There was
Yeah,
like
it
some
did.
parts where like the audience were like just laughing out loud.
Yeah,
It.
there was a number of moments. There's a couple of things that Chris Pratt said that I just love, because he also has that sort of thing where he kind of, a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio, when they come out and they just sort of say things that you're thinking in your head, and when they actually say it, it then makes you laugh. So yeah, there was a number of moments. Our screening was quite busy actually. There was a number of
It was,
people.
I guess we went to an early one. We went around peak time that one. It was around 6 o'clock,
we did.
6:30.
And you sort of, I don't know if you do this much, but at the end of the film, you kind of do a bit of like people listening, where you hear like muttering. So you either hear people like behind you or ahead of you go, "Oh, that was all right," or "That was fucking shit." So I feel like the consensus was, yeah, that was kind of what we expected, and that was decent.
Yeah,
much better than what the critics are saying, that's for sure.
And your score?
I will go slightly lower than Andy, a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. I was just thinking about my most recent Chris Pratt film, and it was Electric State last year.
I haven't watched that yet, but that didn't go down with critics either, did it?
No, I thought it was decent. There's some good moments in that film. Cool. I don't think I'm going to rush out to see it. I'm not going to lie, but if it comes to a streaming service, I might try and watch it.
Yeah.
But I go like once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I'd rather save that for films like Return of Silent Hill, apparently.
Yeah. We'll save that for next week, actually. Sometimes I will say to you, "Oh, you've got to go and watch X movie or Y movie on the big screen." This one isn't. Like, this one is perfect for streaming platform. There's nothing really on there that would say that you've got to sit on the big screen.
Yeah,
so,
these January
that makes
films always end up being on the streaming services before the end of the year anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They do.
Cool. I have been watching a new TV show, Andy, and I say you because it's one you've been watching.
Okay,
The Boys.
which is hey, this guy
Hey.
Started
finally
it,
tried
and
it.
you never fucking told me Simon Pegg was in this shit.
Did I not? There's a
No,
lot of people
Simon
in
Pegg's in
this.
this film.
Yeah, he
Shockwave.
plays the dad of Huey, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jack
He's not in
Quaid.
it much, that's why. But
Oh,
yeah,
spoiler. No, I'm joking. Um, yeah, I'm 3 episodes in. 3 episodes in already.
nice.
I am enjoying it.
The start scene to this whole like show is crazy
Is it?
with A Train.
Oh, of course. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like the
Yeah,
whole show
the show
So
basically.
is different to what I was
this got
expecting.
this got Jack Quaid in it, hasn't it?
Jack Quaid, yeah.
Yeah, he plays Huey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's completely different to what I was expecting. I know the premise of it, like this, what superheroes would be like in real life, like if in our world now, being
Yeah.
taken over by
yeah,
corporations, blah blah blah. But I don't think I kind of knew the Jack Quaid storyline part of it, and I think that's what surprised me
yeah,
a
yeah,
bit. Um, I think he's great. I've seen him obviously in Companion, and he's good in this as well. And yeah, so far it's really
Great.
good. I'm not. It's not the Invincible level yet, but I'm 3 episodes in. I don't think well, actually
yeah.
Invincible's episode 1 is phenomenal. Um, but I think I can see the potential. I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying Starlight. I'm enjoying obviously Homelander, who I can see being a very good character in this show.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, this I just had the episode where they had the race between A Train and can't remember the guy's name now. Thunderclap, whatever his fucking name. Shockwave.
Yeah,
And he juices himself up on V compound, whatever it's called, compound V.
yeah,
So about to find out more about that. Someone just got killed by a lady sitting on his face. That's the kind of shit that happens
yeah.
in this, Stephen.
Yeah,
There's a
I'm
lot of fucked
it's
up moments in this film.
I
Film,
know
TV show.
I know that I'm going to love The Boys.
Yeah.
Andy's been telling me about it for ages. It's just one that there's so much stuff to watch at the moment.
Yeah.
But once I start it, I don't think I'm going to want to like stop watching it. So
I'm good.
it's
I'm
on
watching
my
it
list.
because of the last season coming out
Season 5, yeah.
in May, April.
April, yeah.
So I don't know if I'll be fully up to date by the time it launches, but if they're weekly episodes, I should be able to catch up and hopefully watch the final episode in time, maybe. But at
Yeah.
this, I think I'll
Yeah.
be able to finish season 1. It's 8 episodes per season.
I think so, yeah.
I should,
And about over like an hour long, yeah.
yeah, I should get them done pretty quickly. But yeah, enjoying it. I'll obviously update as that goes along.
I'm excited to hear about it. There's like you think you have that like one fucked up scene in like season 1. You think they can't do anything worse than that. It gets to season 2 and they top it with some weird fucked up shit.
Isn't it
And you
every
think,
season they top it even more?
yeah, pretty much. And it gets to
Yeah.
season 3, you're thinking they can't like. There's certain parts it's getting to now. I'm like having to almost look away because it's so fucking disgusting.
They,
But
There's
yeah,
a-
they push it to the limits with the weird shit, man.
there's like a returning thing that we said last week. You don't think it can get more fucked up? It can.
It can, yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
We've got a couple minutes. We'll quickly talk about the Traitors finale, Stephen.
Yes.
Obviously finished this week. I watched it. You decided to go and watch Return to That Hill and Mercy. Craziness. But yeah, a great ending. I was very happy with how it ended. We obviously was
Yeah.
texting about what we thought might happen.
Yeah.
And every time it still surprised you. Even though you think you've nailed
Yeah.
what is going to happen, there's still a surprise. Go on.
What I was because I spoke to Addy and our other friend James about this because and spoilers ahead for if you haven't seen the traitors, you need to go and watch it.
Yeah, most people should.
In terms of who wins basically at the end. But when I got home on Friday night, I was so tired. I thought, right, first thing Saturday morning I'm gonna go up and watch it, but it meant that I couldn't go on any social media of any shape or form because I'm in the number of like I follow a number of traitors like groups. But I posed the question of if you're in a situation where you know that you could either win your share of 47,000 or take home 95 grand, I posed the question, would you do it? Because I loved that both Stephen and Amanda
Rachel.
had a why did I say Amanda? Rachel, yeah. Rachel and Stephen, I love the fact that they made a pact with each other that they were never going to write their name down and they're never going to backstab each other. There were a couple of moments that kind of signaled where I was like, oh, is Rachel about to do it or is Steve about to do it? And I felt he was going to write Rachel's name down in the final round table.
Mhm.
And then when we got to Endgame, when Faraz went out, if I was Stephen at that point, I know, right, was it Jack who was? It was
Yeah.
Jack, him and Rachel. So Jack was going to vote Rachel for one. Rachel was going to vote Jack, so it meant that I had the deciding vote. So I know that I've won, right? I either steal the money from Jack completely, or I share it with Rachel. And I don't know, like, what would you in that situation? What would you have done? Because I put myself in that,
I'd have
and I
taken the
still
money.
don't. What all of it?
Oh yeah, he had won the game once he got. It might have even been before that. I think even, well, he might not have known when Faraz was there, but once Faraz was out and it was just the three of them, Stephen must have been standing there thinking, "I've won."
Yeah, I would
Like
have. I
either
would
way,
have.
I've won. No
Yeah,
matter what I do here, I've won at
yeah,
least 47 grand. But then
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
I could double that to
Yeah.
96, whatever it was, 95 grand. Fuck.
But what?
I
But would
get
you
that he
not
made his
feel?
promise, but I can guarantee you, if this was the other way around,
Yeah,
Rachel would have
that's the
taken it. I
scary
would
thing.
The
guarantee
only,
it. Obviously, she
the
couldn't in
only
this
other,
case. She had no hope other than
no,
Stephen
and
helping her.
the other thing is like because obviously they do like a dinner party where they all go around and say what they're going to use the money for. And for Rachel, she wanted to use it to support her mum who had dementia before she has no memory. So I feel like if I'd done that, I
True.
would feel so fucking awful. And it's been nice that if you see people like going, oh, there is a bit of humanity that even though the show is designed to backstab and like as a traitor, like that is the game. But I don't know whether I would feel comfortable doing that. But in the other hand, I'm like. I probably I don't know what I would do in that situation because
The
It's almost
we've
like
not. It's
it's
like
almost
Golden
like
Balls.
Golden
Golden
Balls.
Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
You
is
guys
Golden
know,
Balls.
there's like the
yeah.
scenes, there's like that famous scene of like the guy and the girl and she's like persuading him like, oh, she's gonna split, and they have that like whole
Yeah,
moment and then opens it and it's still and she's taking all the money and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
too
fucking
right.
it,
bastard.
Too right.
Yeah. But then
yeah.
there's that other scene where like the guy's like saying he's telling the guy or the girl, whatever, that he's gonna choose still, and he's like, you can choose still as well, we'll lose the money. But he's like, I'm gonna choose still, I'll share the money with you
I've
after
seen
the
that
game.
clip. Yeah,
And like he convinces this person to go with split,
and then
and
they
what he
split
does,
together.
he chooses split as well. So he basically
Yeah,
convinces this person to choose split by him saying he's going to choose still and fuck them
yeah.
both up. But then he chooses split and they both split. So that I thought that
It's
was a really cool
genius.
thing.
I can't even
No,
It
it's,
sort of
it's,
sounds
comprehend
it,
that
cool.
it's
Like
even
this,
works. I would be
yeah.
like, fuck you.
There was a
yeah,
lot of
like
actually.
obviously there's a lot of trust with like
Yeah.
with that, but
There was a lot of controversy actually that ITV got in trouble that because they had another instance
pretty
where
white got shut down.
someone said, oh, you know, if you are still, but if you split, I'll share the money with you, and then they had to be like, no, you can't
That's
do
not a
that. It was
rule.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
ruining the game.
Yeah.
It was just also great to see. I've always been on the side of that. I want a traitor to win because I think it's harder for a traitor than a faithful. So the fact that two traitors got to the very end and got rid of everybody because Rachel was like her game was nuts.
Wait, what actually happened? Did Stephen, like, you've been keeping us on edge here? Did Stephen take the money or
No, he
did
shared it.
Rachel get
He
money?
shared it.
No, oh
Oh,
no,
okay.
yeah, they split the money in the end,
Okay.
so they both walk away with 47 grand. But generally, it was probably the most nuts season in terms of
Twists and
every
turns.
episode
Yeah.
something kicked off in terms of twists and turns. It's also made me realize because again, I am applying for the next series. I definitely want to be a faithful though. I feel like this series in particular has made me realize that me being a traitor is not a good idea.
You've got to be a
I
traitor. You need to have some control.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm a terrible liar, and it would be
So was
written all over
Stephen.
my face.
Stephen was written all over his face the whole season and no one saw it. Fucking
That is also
Rachel.
true.
Rachel said the words, if I was a faithful. And she still got away with
I
it.
know.
Fucking,
Yeah.
fucking stupid fuckers.
The only other good thing before we wrap up is the fact that like she did a great thing with Faraz because Faraz was like, there's always somebody that gets it absolutely bang on, but they
Yeah.
don't believe themselves. So there's one point where Faraz goes, I think it's definitely Rachel and Stephen. And I'm like, watching it going, you're absolutely fucking bang on. But then what Rachel did is she kind of spun it, but then cast the seed of doubt
Yeah.
in like his mind. And I thought that's ultimately saved you. I need to go and watch The Uncloaked, which they do at the end where they
I
all
watched half of
talk
it.
about it. Because I'd love to have seen their reaction when they realised that it's both Rachel and Stephen. Apparently, I read that Jack was fuming when
They
he
didn't
got
show that,
voted
but
out.
I've read that as well.
Yeah.
But Faraz was talking. No, was that? No, I think that was actually in the episode, so don't worry. Anyway, we need to wrap up. Before we do, Andy, you said you watched something.
The Rip on
The Rip.
Netflix.
Do you want to give a quick 2-minute rundown before we wrap up?
Yeah, so it's the new film starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on Netflix. It's a standard sort of police corruption type film. Obviously, it's called The Rip because they go to a rip, which is like they get a tip on a stash house, basically, either like drugs, cartel money, or well, it's usually money. So they get a tip to go to this rip, and then obviously shit goes sideways from there. But yeah, it's just a standard sort of corrupt sort of FBI. It's got the different sort of agencies involved. I can't remember what their agency is called, but obviously they've got a team of people that go to the rips and stuff. And there's like the feds involved and other departments. But yeah, it's just a sort of I enjoyed it. I thought it was worth watching. I'd recommend it. Matt Damon's pretty cool. Obviously, he's a good actor. His performance is pretty good. And then also Ben Affleck's characters working together. Obviously, those two love working together. So I think they always have good chemistry on screen. But yeah, I would recommend watching it. It's on Netflix, so you don't have to go to the cinema to watch it. I can't remember if I rated this on Letterboxd, but I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, better than Mercy.
Yeah, and obviously there's twists as well. There's twists in the film.
Was
Trying to figure out what happens.
Was Hamnet
got
a
81%.
2025 film?
Sorry?
Hamnet, was that 2025 or 2026 movie?
I watched it this year, but I'm not sure what the release date was.
Okay, because otherwise, looking at your review scores, your film of 2026 so far is The Rip.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm pretty
other
sure.
than Hamnet.
Was Hamlet? Yeah. I need to double check because obviously I watched it this
Oh
year,
no,
but
sorry,
I can't
that's a
remember
complete
it.
lie. Bone Temple gave it 10.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say there must be another film.
I couldn't see it. There it is.
It's got 81% on Rotten
That's right.
Tomatoes. So good critic score. Audience score is about 65%. But yeah, if one I'll look into, sounds interesting.
It sounds like a
Yeah,
half
it's not
decent
long.
one for Netflix.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like that Cameron Diaz film that you watched last year or whenever it was. That
The most run-of-the-mill average Netflix. Not bad, not good.
Yeah.
Just one of those films. It's a film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember what that was called. No. Anyway.
Even like the Jason Bateman one, which is like the Christmas one a couple of years ago, that was kind of just run of the mill, everything I expected.
Before we go, any of you two interested in that film, Shelter?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go watch it.
I think it looks all right.
It's him in his standard role, isn't it?
But I know what you mean, but it looks different to like the Beekeeper and stuff. Like it looks like it's got a little bit more personality to it to me.
It
Maybe
is
not.
different, but there's also like there's a film called Safe that he's in, and it looks literally similar to
How
that,
does
where
it?
he like protects this girl.
Oh, okay.
I like it, but it's like
The
he
same.
loves playing that role, so I know it's going to be
Have I-
like
Yeah.
it'll probably be a fun film.
Have I seen the trailer for that?
It's like in the beginning of every film,
Yeah,
isn't it?
we saw the trailer for it too.
Okay,
It's the
yeah.
Jason
I mean,
Statham one.
oh yeah, I am interested in watching that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for hanging out with us on tonight's episode of the Late Night Movie Podcast. Let us know what you thought of Whiplash. Drop your thoughts in the comments or tag us in socials at the Late Night Pods. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you are listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Speaking of which, next time we will be reviewing Return to Silent Hill. I'm actually going to say you don't want to miss it, and I think for different reasons. Until then, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I've been your host, Welchy, joined as always by my co-hosts, Andy.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully you guys enjoyed Whiplash if you watched it.
Unlike Bigsy. And also joined by Stephen.
Yeah, been a pleasure as always. And yeah, cannot wait to review Return to Silent Hill next week.
And remember, our next film on the A to Z is Xeno. And just to give you an idea, I think we're reviewing it in 2 weeks' time, if I'm correct. So just to give you a date for everyone listening, so we are reviewing it on the 8th, which is a Sunday. It will come out on whatever that week following, but you need to get your reviews in if you want to by the 8th of Feb, which is when we'll be reviewing it. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.